Welcome back once again. Our first guest today is Robbie Schultz. He is the owner of the South Carolina Lightning Protection Incorporated. And tell us, Robbie, about the credentials that you have, because we were just talking about that. And you cover like everything that's out in front of us. You know everything about the big Zap lightning bolt, don't you?
Well, I don't know about that. I am a member of the Underwriters Laboratories Standards Technical Panel on light detection.
And that's that seal that you see on just about everything that you buy these days, something that goes in the house and so forth.
That's exactly right. Their sole mission is to make the world a safer place.
Oh, very good.
And they do product testings on everything, including lightning protection. They issue a UL Master Label certificate.
So what else? I mean, because you've got a lot of different things that you work with, a certification of installing equipment as well.
That's right. I am a member of the Lightning Protection Institute. I'm a master installer designer. That's the highest credential you can have.
Wow.
With that organization. They've been in the business of certifying lightning protection systems for about 75 years.
That's kind of like getting your PhD as a lightning protection specialist, isn't it?
I would imagine
Yeah.
so.
Tell us what you got us here for today. I mean,
Well,
this is really good.
We have a lightning demonstration house that mimics a lightning strike. So when you have a lightning protection system, you have a mechanism in place, a system of conductors, lightning rods, bonding, grounding that channels the lightning energy through the building and safely into the ground. If you do not have a lightning protection system, then lightning will still strike your building, but it won't have a way to get that energy down to the ground. Much like what we have here. You have flammable shingles on top of your roof that can be ignited during a lightning strike.
Whoa.
So that's what would happen if you know, what can happen if you don't have a lightning protection system in place.
Yeah, and a lot of people say that, lightning doesn't strike twice in the same place. They've actually never been to the Empire State Building, because that has a huge lightning rod and it gets struck by lightning numerous times throughout the year. And a house can be struck by lightning more than one time, can't it?
Absolutely. Lightning doesn't choose its target until about 300 feet from the ground, and at that point, lightning is going to strike whatever it can use to help get down to the ground.
Tell us about what you have here. It looks like some rather burnt objects.
Well, we have a type of gas piping that's in a lot of people's houses nowadays. It's called CSST, which stands for corrugated stainless steel tubing.
Okay.
It's just a very thin, and when lightning is just blindly looking for a way to get down to the ground, it attaches onto things that are conductive, like this piping, and this stuff is so thin that it just burns a hole in it. Then you have a blowtorch that shoots out in your house. It can catch your house on fire.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a fire immediately, then you can have just a gas buildup, and then something can ignite that and explodes.
That can be explosion.
Your whole house.
Now, these are larger gas pipes right here with some insulation and so forth, but they've been singed as well, haven't they?
Absolutely. Originally, it had a yellow coating like this here, and once they started having a lot of lightning fires with it, they changed to a black coating, and as you can see, they've all been involved in lightning events. We really recommend not using this type of pipe, although it is allowed to be used, but we really don't recommend it.
A person can use that if they're building a house, but if they're very conscious about making sure that there won't be any lightning problems, then they need to go to a different grade, correct?
Absolutely. You can bond this more often than just the minimum that's required by our codes, or you can go back to the solid galvanized piping that everyone used in the past, black iron. And I think that's one of the reasons why they changed from yellow to black, to try to confuse people about what they were getting.
Okay. Now, we've got some photos of some work that you've been doing and so forth. Tell us about this, and also some damage that's been done.
Well, our state does not require lightning protection systems to be inspected, although they do require that you have a license to do the work. So we find a tremendous amount of substandard work. Here is a picture of a lightning wire from a tree that's just wrapped around the ground rod. There are specialized clamps that are required to make this connection that are not being used in a lot of occasions. Absolutely.
The people were charged to have this installed, and it's not going to do any good.
That's right. Underwriters Laboratories can, for a fee, come out and inspect these lightning protection systems, but they don't look at things that are concealed, like what you see here. You can see the connections to the steel. This is a allowed connection, but the metal needs to be stripped of its coating and needs to go to bare metal. And then, of course, at the top, you can see that once the coating has been stripped, you're going to have corrosion, and when you have corrosion, it's a high resistance connection, so the system is not going to work as intended. And also on the very bottom right-hand corner, you can see that the clamp would just clamp right through the fireproofing, so there's no electrical connection at all. And this is not being inspected by our building departments, and it's being missed by third-party inspectors like Underwriters Laboratories, because they only look at what they can see when the building is done.
So what you would like to ask folks to do, and also advise people to do, is get in contact with you about coming out to their house to see if it is going to be protected against lightning. You know, a house might not ever get struck by lightning, but if it does, it needs to be protected, and that's being protected not only for the house itself, but also the electronic devices that's in the house, right?
That's correct. A lot of people think surge protection is lightning protection, but surge protection is really just one part of a complete lightning protection system.
What are we looking at right here?
We're looking at a generator atop one of our local hospitals that is not connected to the lightning protection system. And then on the right-hand photo is another hospital up in the coastal north of our area that had an inspection, but the inspection was via photograph, so there's a lot of parts of that building that are not compliant. And then on the bottom left of the screen is what can happen when roofers or other people maintain buildings over time without having somebody qualified to work on the light protection. So you can see it's kind of a mess of conductors that's not compliant at all.
Right on. How can people get a hold of you, Robbie?
We are on the web at sclightning.com. Well, you can reach us on our telephone at 388-0045, and we'll come out and look at anything you have.
Some great information.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you. We've got more coming up after the break, so stay with us.